Tell me about yourself.
So my name is Jasmine Bridges. I'm from San Diego, California, and I'm currently 20 years old. I attend the University of North Florida, where I'm pursuing a major of international business with a minor in Mandarin Chinese. I'm also the president of my multicultural sorority.
What are three of your strengths?
I would like to consider myself as a leader. As a leader and the president of my sorority, I act as a liaison between my national headquarters and the university, and I'm also a wealth of knowledge for the other sisters on our campus and other sisters in our region. I would also like to consider myself self-aware, so I'm very aware of my strengths and my weaknesses, and I try to improve upon my weaknesses as best as possible. For example, over the past summer, I had financial management courses, and I had to take the time to seek extra counseling and get through my classes. So I had to go to extra lessons, extra tutoring, but all that determination and that hard work and realizing that the lessons that were being offered by the course weren't enough was able to help me pass the course. I would also like to think that I'm creative. I like to consider myself a very out-of-the-box thinker. I like to think of new ways and new things to come up with to better any situation. For example, at work at Wells Fargo, we have to think of ways to advertise our products to clients, and you have to think of ways to speak to them in a way that really resonates with them. So for example, I had a customer come in and she had curly hair that was like mine, so I was able to talk to her about that and relate to her and tell her how those things related to a product, and was able to help her benefit herself financially.
What is a weakness you have?
I think a weakness that I have is that I'm kind of impatient. I can work to be a little bit more patient and work with others. I think that just stems from I like things to be done a certain way, and sometimes just a certain way doesn't make it the right way, and I'm starting to learn that. When you're in a sorority with different women with different opinions, you have to learn that your way is not the only way, and that's something that I'm learning and I'm working on.
Are you a team player?
I am definitely a team player. As a part of a team in work, school, and my own personal life, I work with others very well. So for example, last year we participated in something called Greek Week at our university. So Greek Week and all the other Greek organizations came together and put on a show. So we were able to work as a team towards the chariot race, the boat race, and the performance at the end. We were able to bring things that we all had to bring to the table to accomplish the goal, and at the end we actually ended up winning. So I'm definitely a team player. I'm definitely about understanding what people's strengths and weaknesses are and helping them move through things as well.
Tell of a situation where you had to adjust quickly to changes over which you had no control.
It's a good question. So some changes that I've gone through that I've had to adjust to. Some changes that I can think of are college. So you come to college and some of the courses are not as set in stone as you like. So I've come across professors that have moved deadlines back and forth, and that's very frustrating, I guess, as a student. But at the end of the day, I am a student, so I have to abide by the syllabus and work my hardest. So I can say that one of my management classes, my professor doesn't give very clear guidelines, and sometimes she finds herself moving deadlines up or later, and I have to accommodate to that. So I have to get my assignments done, whether it be early in the morning or late at night, to accomplish the overall goal of passing the class.
What kind of supervisor do you work best for?
I think I work for a supervisor. I think I work best for a supervisor that understands my goals. I'm not just there to work. I'm also there to grow and develop professionally, and I need them to understand that and help me gain skills that will benefit me towards the future. So when a manager can understand that I'm not just there for a paycheck and can help me develop myself professionally, I think that's the best kind of supervisor for me.
Give an example of a time you had to work with a difficult person. How did you handle it?
Okay, so working with a difficult person, I'm going to reference my sorority again. In my sorority, I find myself having to deal with sisters whose views may not agree with mine. So sometimes you have to take them to the side and you have to figure out what their end result is, explain what your end result is. And most of the time, the end result is the same. It's just the journey to getting there. So we had to come together and collaborate on how to accomplish our end goal. For example, we had to host an event for the university. I think it was a political discussion forum where we talked about controversial topics. So we had to understand how to get the audience to engage in the conversation. So she had one way and I had another, but we figured out how we could combine both those ways to make something even greater than what we both originally had thought. And the event was a success, and we got to hear people's opinions about what's going on in the world.